Hello students, I am Dr. Sapna Chilate from Pillai HSC College of Arts, Science and Commerce, Rasaini from Department of Chemistry, and today we are going to discuss about the topic flame emission spectroscopy, that is also called as flame photometry. So we all know this topic comes under semester 5 of TYBSc. Okay, fine. So in this today's topic we are going to study about what is exactly the flame emission spectroscopy or flame photometry, then introduction about the technique, where it is used, why we are using this technique, and then we focus on the principle and then instrumentation. Okay, fine. So we'll go one by one. So now first focus, what is exactly the flame emission spectroscopy, that is called as in short FES or flame spectroscopy. Okay, so this comes under the category of or branch of absorption spectroscopy that we all know. Okay, fine. So flame, what is exactly the basic principle of flame emission spectroscopy? As we know, this comes under absorption spectroscopy. So something is related to absorption. Okay, fine. So flame emission spectroscopy is a study of radiant energy from the excited atoms when we are heating or exposed to the flame, high temperature flame, either by heating process or by thermal process. Fine. So flame emission in flame emission spectroscopy we are studying the radiant energy of excited atoms. Okay, so we'll see one by one what are the different steps which occurs in flame emission spectroscopy. When the atoms are exposed to flame, they absorb the energy, high energy, and then get excited. Okay, so in excited form they are unstable. Okay, why there is excitation or de-excitation occurs? So this is because of the transition of electrons from lower energy level to upper energy level. So we call it as transition state from lower energy to upper energy level. Fine. So here once the atoms get absorbed higher amount of energy, they undergo excitation, and here they are unstable. So they emits energy in the form of photons, okay, or h nu. We call it as h nu. While coming back, they emits the radiation. This is the basis of flame emission spectroscopy. So we are going to study the amount of energy or amount of thermal energy which is in the form of a radiation. So now we'll focus on the principle of flame emission spectroscopy. Now what is the basic working principle of flame emission spectroscopy? Okay, so we all know here we are measuring the radiant energy. Okay, so whenever the solution is in liquid form, okay, so this is our Ma solution which is in liquid form. Okay, so when we aspire this sample solution into the flame by atomization process, it undergo evaporation. Okay, so giving behind Ma solid. So after evaporation we'll get the metal particles in the form of a solid form. Then again further heating, after further heating, the solid particles undergo vaporization to give gaseous molecules, then which further undergo dissociation process. Give atoms Ma, M in gaseous form and A in gaseous form. So this is first when we heat the sample, okay, or when we aspire the sample into the flame. After that, after dissociation, some of the metal solids, okay, some of the metal solids will absorb energy from the flame, okay, and they undergo excitation. So this is our excited atoms. Now it becomes unstable when it undergo transition state, and now it undergo de-excitation to M gas, okay, M gas atoms. So when it undergo de-excitation, it liberates a certain amount of energy in the form of a photon. So this is the basic principle of working principle of flame emission spectroscopy. So in this way we can determine the different components of a solution in a metallic form. Okay, so by using this principle we can determine so many elements like alkali and alkaline earth metals. So what are the different applications which we are using? By using this process we can determine the different components. So one by one we'll see the application portion. Now we'll focus on different applications of flame emission spectroscopy. So it has very advancement in applications. Okay, so we can determine first main and basic application is determination of sodium and potassium, which are the alkali and alkaline earth metals, from fertilizer samples. Then by using this technique we can determine calcium and magnesium from cement, from which we can identify the quality of cement. Okay, we all know different types of cements we are using, so depending upon the percentage of calcium and magnesium we can determine the quality of the cement. Then determination of lead from petrol. Also we can use this technique for determination of sodium, magnesium, potassium from urine sample, from blood sample, serum sample, and so on. Okay, so in this way it has a vast application of flame emission spectroscopy in industry as well as in our day-to-day life. Now we'll focus on the instrumentation technique of flame emission spectroscopy. The instrument which we are using for determination of various alkali and alkaline earth metal are flame spectrometer. The various components I have shown here. Okay, so you can see the very first component which we are using for production of flame is burner. Okay, so here we can use two types of burner. One is total consumption burner and other is premix burner. So in this particular experiment we are using total consumption burner. So what is exactly mean by the total consumption burner? So in this burner whatever the sample drawn is completely utilized, okay, for atomization. That's why we call it as total consumption burner. Now you can see in diagram. So here the diagrammatic representation shows the burner is used for getting a flame. Okay, so high thermal energy flame we are needed for atomization process, so we are using here. O2 gas is used as an oxidant along with the fuel gas, which is used for production of flame, high energy flame. Okay, and the sample is drawn from the sample port into the atomizer unit by suction process. Okay, where it forms a mist or fine droplets of a sample. It reaches to the flame where the actual heating or burning process start. Okay, so here we should have a high temperature flame in order to get a good amount of energy. Now when we start the process, the sample get suctioned, okay, and burns inside the flame, from where the rays are coming out. Now second part is our mirror, collimating mirror here we are using. Okay, so whatever the rays passing from the flame, it gets collimated onto the mirror or focused onto the mirror. From there it is focused to the prism. Okay, so now what is the role of the prism here? So prism will take the transmitted radiation from the mirror and then convert it into individual wavelength. Okay, so main role of prism is here to convert it into individual wavelength. After that, individual wavelength will focus on the photocell. Okay, so the photocell, whatever the transmitted radiations coming here, it gets amplified and transmitted to amplifier. Okay, so now in amplifier the transmitted radiation is converted into the electric current. Okay, so the main application is here of amplifier, that it converts transmitted radiation into electrical radiation. Then it is read out by the readout meter. So in this way the complete process work, and we can able to find out the qualitative as well as quantitative analysis of different alkali and alkaline method by using flame emission spectroscopy or flame spectroscopy. Thank you.